Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off the late 50-cent pick 4 at Tampa Bay Downs with graded stakes action on the turf. It's the grade 2 Hillsborough. We're going 1 1/8 for fillies and mares. Bet this, bet pick 4, bet this Tampa Bay Derby card with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com, double your action. Bet 100, get $100 sign up bonus. Let's meet the field for the grade 2 Hillsborough. Again, kicking off this 50-cent pick 4, and surprise, surprise, Chad Brown has a very strong hand in here. We'll begin with the number 7, Rimska, multiple graded stakes winner, who last time out in the Swanee River, listen, Irad Ortiz has been riding out of his mind, but I think some handicappers could question the ride in the Swanee River. The pace setter valedictorian got away with a half in 51-4, 116-4. It appeared Irad could have been a little bit closer with Rimska on the backstretch. He then opted to wait, and by the time he came with a run, he flew home, but it was impossible to catch the winner.
Yeah, I mean, they just went a really slow pace in there. It really worked against her. I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's hard to take a horse, you know, just completely out of her running style. He did try, it looked like he was going to try and keep close early, and then he just didn't hold that position. By the time he rallied, it was too late. I'll say this, Dan, she didn't run a great race last time, even with everything working against her. She didn't run a great race last time, but she is better than that. I mean, she has races from last year. They didn't run that many times last year, but it's in particular the Athenia at Belmont. If she runs that race, she's going to be really tough to beat her. That was a very impressive performance. We'll see if the race sets up for her.
The Athenia, she just absolutely mowed those horses down in the stretch. The Matriarch, to me, I just think that post position doomed her. She was forced to come from far, far back. I was a little bit disappointed that the punch wasn't there at the end.
Kind of agree.
But last time out again, valedictorian had the pace edge, and it's not like valedictorian is some bum.
True.
She came back and ran a very good second last week in the grade 3 Honey Fox with a 95 Beyer speed figure. I want to throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race because after what we saw last time from Hawksmoor, I'm not so sure Hawksmoor is going to be trying to get to the lead in here, even though she looks like the confirmed speed. If you bet Hawksmoor at 7-5 in the grade 3 Endeavor last time out, after the first quarter of a mile, you were holding your heart and you were asking for the paddles because it looked like Hawksmoor was in big trouble. And lo and behold, Hawksmoor can rate and finish against inferior horses.
Yeah, that's the real problem with that race, I guess. It's just that they were horses that they really couldn't beat her no matter what she did. And they did. Listen, it's not like there was any trouble for her. They rated her in that race. They took her back. She seemed to be perfectly fine with that. The trip worked perfectly for her under Castellano. And once she came clear, she did the rest. She won that race actually very easily. And this race, Joe Bravo's got to put her on the lead. There's no speed in this race. She's facing better horses. You got to put her on the lead and try and wire the shoe.
She beat 4 of these common foes in that endeavor, including the number 3 Viva Vegas, who the pace projector has in closest attendance to Hawksmoor early. And Viva Vegas also was rated a little bit in the endeavor, and she came with her usual good solid run. Viva Vegas is a Tampa Bay lover, making her important 3rd start of the form cycle for another underrated trainer in Nacho Correas. I just wonder if she's truly graded stakes class.
I agree with all that stuff. I mean, she did her very best last time. It looks close on paper. It really wasn't that close on the track. She was second best. She was never getting to Hawksmoor, but she ran really well over a course that she likes.
Let's talk a little bit about Chad Brown's number 8, On the Moon Again. We have a formulator fact for Chad. Over the past 4 years, with horses aged 4-year-olds and up, returning from a 4 to 6 month layoff in graded stakes turf routes, we've got 36% winners, 8 of 11 on the board, and a 226 ROI. And Chad just seems to excel off this 4 to 6 month layoff with turf routers. On the Moon Again did not win from 3 starts in North America last year. I could argue she was compromised by pace in every single one of those races, and last time out she moved early in the Flower Bowl, only to be run down by the odds-on stablemate 4-Star Crook.
Yeah, she looked a little, to me anyway, a little hard to settle in the Flower Bowl for some reason.
Yeah, they had to get her off the rail.
Yeah, she just didn't really want to rate in that race, and she did make the early run. I thought she ran well in that spot. Her race 2 back in the Glens Falls, she ran way better than it looks. They absolutely walked on the lead in there. She actually ran very well, and then of course in her stateside debut at Saratoga, you know, Castellano, for whatever reason, just tried to force his way up the rail. It didn't work out. She ran well in all of her starts last year. She was obviously a good horse in France. Listen, I'm not going to be surprised when she has a big year this year.
7-2 on the morning line. Something tells me she gets bet off of that 102 buyer speed figure last time out. And 4-Star Crook, I believe, won this race off a similar 4 to 6 month layoff last year for Chad Brown. She's obviously very, very dangerous. Another formulator fact horse, this one at a much better price, is the 9, Get Explicit, who finished behind Hawksmoor last time out, but it was her first start of the year, and perhaps she'll do better. Barb Minchel's clicking at 30% over the past 4 years, with older turf routers making their second start of the form cycle with a solid return on investment. This filly's no slouch. Second in the Grade 3 Valley View, second in the Grade 2 Mrs. Revere, maybe just a little bit too close to the pace. What a weirdly run race, huh?
Yeah.
Hawksmoor was taken back, and Get Explicit is up close. They're going to reverse perhaps this time.
I would think so. We'll see if this filly can take the step forward that she needs to take. Because she actually ran some good races last year on turf. She was bad last time, I'll have to laugh. And I know maybe she didn't want to be that close to the pace, but she's been effective with that running style before. And she got a perfect trip last time and just didn't run through the stretch. Maybe she needed it off the layoff.
Speaking of a horse that might have needed one off the layoff, the far outside horse, the number 10, Good Year for Roses, hadn't run since November 4th of 2017. Talk about a long layoff. And all things considered, the 7-year-old didn't run badly, beaten 3 lengths. And if she can call upon some of her back class, she could easily contend with these horses. That's a little bit of an if.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she ran well last time considering how wide she was. She could never get over to save any ground, got stuck on the outside the entire way. She did get tired at the end of that race, and she got run down from behind for 3rd and wound up finishing 4th. But I think as a starting off point, there's really nothing to argue with about it. I feel like when I watched it, Dan, I wonder if she's going to need another one. I think she might need even another one off that layoff, but at least it shows she can still run.
Peach of a Gal ran okay to be 3rd last time out in the Grade 3 Swanee River, but when you watch that race, you want to take Rimska 10 times out of 10, don't you? Peach of a Gal was sitting right off of Valedictorian's glacial pace. She couldn't hold off Rimska's late run, despite the fact that she had a substantial advantage over Rimska turning into the stretch. Perhaps she will improve in her 3rd start of the form cycle, and she has won at Tampa Bay Downs in the past. Maybe she's another one that they take back this time, or maybe they try to make the lead.
Maybe, and she'll be a big price in this race too. So if you like her, there's no reason not to stick with her. I sort of feel like, and I like her as a horse, you know, in against these 2 Chad horses and even Hawksmoor, she's in a little tough here.
Street with No Name, I think, in a similar situation. Another horse going 3rd off the layoff, but no match for Hawksmoor last time out. A horse with a versatile running style, but you get a feeling there are better trackers, there are better closers, there are better speeds.
Yeah, just in very tough at a big price.
Down towards the rails, a horse that's also in tough at a big price, but at least is in good form. That's Phantom Opening, who came first off with a layoff, first for this barn, with a real solid now-winners of 2 other than win. I actually liked the way she won that race. She did have a very nice trip to do so. The race just did come back short, light on the speed fix.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she got a perfect trip in that race, but that's what you want to do when you get a perfect trip. I mean, she settled it quickly. It was an impressive win for her, I thought. This trainer, the new trainer now, does a really, really good job. And she's got a great post in here. She can get a piece at a price. I don't think she can beat this field.
And the Poly Spirit was 2nd last time out, but that was in one of those starter stakes races at Gulfstream Park. Only an 80 buyer speed figure. Her best fig is an 83, and she likes to nibble. Trained by Nacho Correas, in other words, likes to hit the board in tough.
Yeah, likes to be around. I mean, she's always picking up checks, but I don't think she can beat this field.
In Chad we trust, as we take a look at our top selections for the Grade 2 Hillsborough, you believe that all Rimska needs is a little bit of pace, and if she gets it, she will revert to her excellent 2018 form. I am going to take On the Moon again despite the layoff. This is what Chad likes to do, so one of us hoping to go home happy with Chad Brown.
Yeah, I could have gone either way in this race. I just sort of felt like, despite what the morning line says, that On the Moon again might be the favorite, and in that case, I'll take my chances with Rimska.
You're going to go 7, 8, 2, and 10. I'm going to go 8, 2, 10, and 7 in the Grade 2 Hillsborough, kicking off the 50-cent pick 4 at Tampa Bay Downs on Tampa Bay Derby Saturday. Bet it with a DRF Bets account. You double your action when you sign up at bets.drf.com. Approximate post time for the Hillsborough, 4:19 Eastern. Good luck.